ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। नत्वा श्रीभारती तीर्थविद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
नत्वा
श्री भारती तीर्थ
श्रीभारतीतीर्थविद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
अधीमहे पञ्चदशीं कैवल्यपदसिद्धये
अधीमहे
पञ्चदशीं
पञ्चदशीं
कैवल्यपदसिद्धये
कैवल्यपदसिद्धये
विवेकप्रकरणे 34तमः श्लोकः। अन्वयो व्यतिरेकाभ्यां धीमयो जीवबन्धकृत्
अन्वयो व्यतिरेकाभ्यां धीमयो
जीवबन्धकृत्
जीवबन्धकृत्
सत्यस्मिन् सुखदुःखेस्तस्मिन् न द्वयम्
सत्यस्मिन् सुखदुःखे तस्मिन् न सति द्वयम्
असत्यपि च बाह्यार्थे स्वप्नादौ बध्यते नरः
असत्यपि च
बाह्यार्थे स्वप्नादौ बध्यते नरः
समाधिसुप्तिमूर्च्छासु सत्यप्यस्मिन्न बध्यते
समाधिसुप्तिमूर्च्छासु सत्यप्यस्मिन् न बध्यते
दूरदेशं गते पुत्रे जीवत्येवात्र तत्पिता
दूरदेशं गते पुत्रे जीवत्येवात्र तत्पिता
विप्रलम्भकवाक्येषु येन मृतं मत्वा प्ररोदिति।
विप्रलम्भकवातेन
विप्रलम्भकवातेन
कृतं
कृतं
मत्वा
मत्वा
प्ररोदिति
प्ररोदिति।
ऋतेऽपि तस्मिन् वार्तायामश्रुतायां न रोदिति।
ऋतेऽपि
ऋतेऽपि
तस्मिन्
तस्मिन्
वार्तायाम्
वार्तायाम्
श्रुतायां न
श्रुतायां
रोदिति।
अतः सर्वस्य जीवस्य बन्धकृन्मानसं जगत्।
अतः सर्वस्य
सर्वस्य
जीवस्य
जीवस्य
बन्धकृन्मानसं
बन्धकृन्मानसं
जगत्।
जगत्
अतः सर्वस्य जीवस्य मानसं जगत् बन्धकृत् बन्धकारकं भवति। अन्वयव्यतिरेकाभ्यां मनोमय प्रपञ्चः बन्धकारणं संसारहेतुः इति सिद्धम्। उदाहरणसहितम् आचार्येण एतत् सिद्ध्यति यत् मनोमय प्रपञ्चः मानसं जगत् बन्धकृत् बन्धकारणम् इति अन्वयव्यतिरेकाभ्याम् उदाहरणसहितम् आचार्येण सिद्ध्यते। अतः भाग्यप्रपञ्चः तत् बन्धकारणं संसारकारणम् अन्तरप्रपञ्चः। अतः यदि भाग्यप्रपञ्चः न संसारहेतुः तर्हि विज्ञानवादिवत् बौद्धमतस्य विज्ञानवादेन विज्ञानवादानुसारम् इदं समग्रं जगत् मानसम् एव इति तेषां मतं बौद्धमतस्य विज्ञानवादिनः मतम् इदं समस्तमिदं जगत् मानसम् एव भाग्यविषयः नास्ति कोऽपि भाग्यविषयः नास्ति। अतः जगत् कुत्र अस्ति केवलं मानसम् एव इति अस्माकं सिद्धान्तः अपि बौद्धमत विज्ञानवादिनः विज्ञानवादिवत् अस्माकं सिद्धान्तः अपि समानः भवति इति अत्र शङ्का भवति। तस्याः शङ्कायाः निवारणार्थम् आचार्यः अग्रिमश्लोके वदति न अस्माकं मतेन विज्ञानवाद मतं विलक्षणं भवति। विज्ञानवाद अपेक्षया अस्माकं मतं विलक्षणं। कथम् आक्षेपं कृत्वा उत्तरमपि ददाति आचार्यः। विज्ञानवादो बाह्यार्थ वैयर्त्या स्यादिहेति चेत्
विज्ञानवादो बाह्यार्थ वैयार्थादिति हेति चेत्
न हृद्याकारमाधातुं भाग्यस्योपेक्षितत्वतः न
नैरुद्याकारमादातुं बाह्यस्यापेक्षिततः
भाग्यार्थवैयर्त्यात् भाग्यविषयाणां वैयर्त्यात् अर्थस्य भावः वैयर्त्यात् हेतु पंचमी भाग्यविषयाणां वैयर्त्यात् इह इह कुत्र इह अस्मिन् विषये कः विषयः भाग्यविषयः एव संसारकारणम् इति अस्मिन् विषये निरूपणे विज्ञानवादः स्यात् भवति विज्ञानवादः भवति तेषां मतेन भाग्यविषयः नास्ति। यदि भाग्यविषयः नास्ति तर्हि किमस्ति? केवलं मनसि एव जगत्तु मानसमेव न तु भाग्ये इति तेषां मतम्। अतः यथा विज्ञानवादिनः वदन्ति तद्वत् अस्माकमपि सिद्धान्तः भवति इति शङ्कायाम्। यदि कोऽपि शङ्कां करोति तर्हि तस्य उत्तरं चेत् अस्माकं सिद्धान्तः तेषां मतानुसारं भवति चेत् न, एतावत्र अस्याः शङ्कायाः निवारणं क्रियते आचार्यः न हृदि आकारं मनोमयस्य आकारम् आदातुं भाग्यस्य विषयस्य अपेक्षा अस्ति अपेक्षितत्वतः। I think we saw this shloka. By Anvaya Vyatireka, it is very clearly established that Jiva Srishta Dvaitam Samsara Karanam. Where is this Jiva Srishta Dvaitam? It is Manasi. It is Manasam. If it is Manasam, then where is Bhagya Prapancha? Bhagya Prapancha doesn't cause samsara. Therefore, Vijnanavadi can say, you are like us. We also don't accept Bhagya Prapancha, Vyartyat. You also don't accept. Therefore, Asmakam Siddhantaha Samanaha Eva. We can join hands with Vijnanavadi. No. According to them, Bhagya Visheha, Bhagya Prapancha Nasti. Kintu Manasam Jagat Asti. But we don't say Bhagya Jagat not there. In fact, Jiva Srishta Antara Prapancha depends on Bhagya Prapancha, Ishvara Srishta, Bhagya Prapancha. Without Bhagya Prapancha, how can there be Antara Prapancha? Without Vishaya, how can there be Vishaya Kara Vritti? Kataha asti, ataha Katakara Vrittihi. Kataha nasti, Katakara Vrittihi nasti. Therefore, Vishayakara Adhatum, Hridi, Manasi, Hridi, Manomayasya, Akaram, Manomayasya Akaram, Adhatum, Praptum, Bhagyasya, Bhagyasitasya, Vishayasya, Apreksha Asti, Adhatum, to place, Hridi Akaram, Adhatum. Hridi in the Hridaya, Akaram, the form, Adhatum, to place the form of an object, the external object in the form of vritti takes place in the mind. Therefore, the object has to be there outside. Outside object goes inside. And it becomes Vasanamaya Prapancha, Antara Prapancha. But Jnanavada Vadis, they say there is no Bhagya Prapancha. There is no Bhagya Prapancha, and therefore there is no point in discussing Bhagya Prapancha. But we don't say like that. We say Bhagya Prapancha, it exists. Antara Prapancha depends on Bhagya Prapancha. But what we say is Chaitanya Vitirikta Bhagya Prapanchaha Nasti. Brahma Vitirikta Bhagya Prapanchaha Nasti. That is what we say. We don't just dismiss Bhagya Prapancha like Vijnanavadis do. So Bhagya Prapancha not there, Anta Prapancha not there. Therefore, what Bhagya Prapancha not there, we say Chaitanya Vitirikta, Atma Vitirikta, Brahma Vitirikta Bhagya Prapanchaha Nasti. So we also say Bhagya Prapanchaha Nasti. They also say Bhagya Prapancha Nasti, but there is a difference. They completely dismiss Bhagya Prapancha because it is Kshanika, it changes everything, therefore it doesn't exist. We don't say so. We say Bhagya Prapancha Nasti, but Chaitanya Vitirikta Bhagya Prapancha Nasti. There is no external world without Chaitanyam. What exists is only Chaitanyam. We dismiss Bhagya Prapancha as Mithya. It has got only Vyavaharika Satyam, Natu Paramarthika Satyam. Therefore, Bhagya Prapancha, it is Nasti iti. Yada vayam vadamaha tatra vedah asti. Vedah asti. Ataha Bhagya Vishayasya astitvam vayam angikurmaha. We accept. Nasti, we say, the standpoint of its absolute existence. That is why Antara Prapancha is there. It is also Vyavaharika. Therefore, Antarat, Vigyanat, Vedena Bhagya Vishaya Asti Heva. Therefore, Manomaya Prapanchaha Bhagya Vishaya Anusari Bhavati. Therefore, Bhagya Vishaya Natu Vyartaha. Bhagyartha Vaiyartyat. That we don't accept. There is no Vaiyartyam of uselessness of Bhagya Prapancha. Bhagya Prapancha different from Manasa Prapancha. It is different from Manasa Prapancha in the sense Bhagya Prapancha doesn't cause samsara, Antara Prapancha causes. But the difference between Vijnana Vadi and Vedantin is this Bhagya Prapancha asti to tasya Paramarthika Satyatam Nasti. But according to Vijnanavadi, it doesn't exist at all. If it doesn't exist, then we will ask a question. Then how could there be Manasam Jagat? Yadi Bhagyam Jagat Nasti, Targi Antaram Jagat Katam Bhavati Vishayarupena Manasi Vasate Tat Kim Katam Bhavati Iti Vijnanavadinam Nirupagitum na Shakyate. They cannot prove. Therefore, in the Hrudi, in the mind, Bhagya, that Ishvara Srishta Dvaita Bhagya Prapancha, it is in the form of the Vritti, as perceived by Jiva. That is Jiva Srishta Dvaitam. Therefore, Jiva Srishta Dvaitam depends on Ishvara Srishta Dvaitam. Jiva Srishta Dvaitam Manasam, Ishvara Srishta Dvaitam Bhagyam. Therefore, Manasa Prapanchasya Bhagyasya Vishayasya Bhagyan Vishayanam Preksha Asti Prekshitatvatah Pancham Yate Tasal Prekshitatvat Bhagya Prapanchasya Vaiyartyam Nasti. Therefore, we give two reasons. One is Antara Prapancha is not possible without Bhagya Prapancha. Suppose if we accept, as they say, then we accepting as though their Vada, Abhipetavada, Abhigamavada. Then we dismiss them. That is Acharya does. Accepting there's argument for the sake of discussion, and then dismissing it. That Acharya does in the next shloka. Therefore, Bhagyartasya Vaiyartyam इति यत् वादिनः वदन्ति तत् वयं निराकुर्मः। भाग्यस्य अपेक्षितत्वात् हृदि आकारम् आधातुं भाग्यस्य अपेक्षितत्वात् भाग्यार्थस्य वैयर्थ्यं नास्ति न। टीका। धीमयस्य धीमयः मनोमयः धीमयस्य एव जगतः बन्ध एतत्व अंगीकारे भाग्यार्थ उपलाभात् भाग्यार्थ उपलाभात् उपलम्बनम् उपलाभात् अपसिद्धान्त तापतः स्यात् इति शङ्कते। धीमयस्य एव जगत्, जगत् it is धीमयः, it is मनोमयः एव, doesn't depend on भाग्य प्रपंच भाग्यस्य विषयस्य अपेक्षा नास्ति यदि स्वीकुर्मः, then बन्धहेतुत्व अंगीकारे, in acknowledging the cause of bondage, धीमया प्रपंचः जगत् alone we say, then bhagyartha apalabat, negating the bhagya, apalabat, negating the bhagya prapancha, bhagyartha. Then what will happen? We will apasiddhanta apataha syat. Then we will fall into the wrong siddhanta if we just neglect bhagya prapancha. Bhagyartha apalabat, as told, doesn't exist like Vijnanavadi. If we say, then we will fall into the wrong apasiddhanta. Apasiddhanta is wrong siddhanta. Apasiddhanta apataha bhavati. Therefore, here Acharya says, in the course of discussions, sometimes it may look that opponent, the Purva Pakshi, says something which is common to us, but it is not completely common. Like in Jnana Karma Samuchaya, many places, Gita, Bhashyam, we have seen. We accept, then we may slip from our Siddhanta. So our Siddhanta is so tight, I cannot allow anything. Because if you allow small hole gap, then the Apasiddhanta will come and will dismiss our Siddhanta. So therefore it is tight. There is no accommodation for any, the name of compassion, accommodation, there is no accommodation for any Apasiddhanta. So therefore, if we accept something, then it will become that's dosha. Vigrasthana dosha it is. So therefore, if it is accepted, then what will happen? Then the opponent will point out our fallacy, and his Siddhanta becomes, he will win us in the logic, in the debate. Therefore, Acharya Parigarat dismisses him. Parigarat. Yadyapi manasa prapanchasya eva. Yadyapi manasa prapanchasya eva bandha hetutvam tatapi tadhetutvena bhagyartasyapi svíkarat na vijnanavada prasangaha iti bhavaha. Yadyapi manasa prapanchasya bandha hetutvam. Even though manasa prapancha is a cause for bondage, tat hetutvena. The status of being the hetu. That hetu, that is, manasa prapancha is a hetu, prabandha karanam. So, bhagyartasya swikarat. The external creation has to be accepted. Na Vijnanavada prasangaha. There is no question of Vijnanavada prasanga in our Siddhanta. Like Vijnanavadi, we don't dismiss. They also say the same thing as we say, if Bhagya Prapancha not there, if we say, then we will fall into that trap. And we'll fall into the trap and our Siddhanta gets defeated. And that Siddhanta is Apasiddhanta. That becomes a reality. As though it is not. So therefore, because we say Bhagya Prapancha not there, but there is no Vijnanavada Prasangaha. There is no possibility of acceptance of the philosophy of Vijnanavada Buddha. Now, the next shloka. Bhagya Prapancha is useless, they say. But we don't say it is useless. Even if it is useless, because it is useless, we cannot deny the existence of Bhagya Prapancha. So, therefore, therefore here, this said, uselessness doesn't negate the existence of a thing. Because Bhagya Prapancha are not there. For them also not there, for us also not there. But yes, we say not there because it is mithya. Mithya means not complete non-existent, it has existence, only Vyavaharika. So in Vyavaharika it is useful. Even if, as they say, it is useless. How can we deny the Vyavaharika satyatvam of Vyavaharika Prapancha? It's not possible. That he says in the Shloka. Vaigyartyamastu va bhagyam navadagitumishmahe.
Vaiyartyamastu
वैयक्तिमस्तु वा
yam
बाह्यं
varayam
व्यवहारयितुमीश्महे
ishmahe.
Prayo janamapekshante dhamananiti hi stitihi.
योजनम्
Prayojanamapekshante
अपेक्षन्ते
dhamananitihi
नमानीतिः स्थितिः
stitihi.
Vaiyartyam astu. Bhagyavastunaha bhagyavishayasya vaiyartyam uselessness, nishpalatvam. Vaiyartyam is useless. Vyartasya bhavaha, useless. The Bhagya Prapancha is useless. Useless and they don't exist, they say. So now we take the useless, they say, that we take. Bhagya Prapanchasya nishpalatvam. Bhavatu, let it be. So Bhagya Prapanchasya, yata, Vijnanavadina vadanti, Bhagya Prapanchaha vaiyatyaha iti. Vayamapi Bhagya Prapanchasya nishpalatvam srikurmaha. Bhagya Prapanchaha Bhagyaveshyaha vyartaha iti. Sa vyatata vayamapi angikurmaha. यद्यपि अंगीकुर्मः तथापि विज्ञानवादेन समानः न भवति अस्माकं सिद्धान्तः कथं येराचार्य से अभ्युपगमवाद वैयर्त्यमस्तु भाग्यविषयः नो प्रॉब्लम विज्ञानवादिनः बिकॉज इट इज भाग्य प्रपंच इज वैयर्त्यम therefore निराकुर्वन्ति वैयर्त्यात् भाग्य प्रपंचस्य निराकरणं कुर्वन्ति वैज्ञानवादिनः. But what do we do? यद्यपि भाग्य प्रपंचः व्यर्थः, यद्यपि भाग्य प्रपंचः निष्फलः, तथापि भाग्य प्रपंचस्य भाग्य विषयस्य अस्तित्वं स्वीकुर्मः. We don't dismiss. न वारयितुम् ईष्महे. वयं न ईष्महे. वयं समर्थाः न भवामः. In what? वारयितुम्. वारयितुम् निषेधयितुम्. निषेधं कर्तुम्. भाग्यं निषेध कर्तुम्. भाग्यं भाग्यवस्तु. भाग्यवस्तुं भाग्यप्रपञ्चम्. भाग्यजगत्. भाग्यजगत् निषेधं कर्तुम् वारयितुम् न ईष्महे. ईश् धातु. ईष्महे. वयं न ईष्महे. समर्थाः न भवामः. वयं यद्यपि भाग्य भाग्य जगत् यद्यपि भाग्य जगत् वैयर्त्यं वैयर्त्यं भवतु, तथापि कथं वारयितुं शक्यते अस्माभिः न. विद्यारण्यमुनि minute. Accept the statement of the Purva Pakshi. Va is Va atava. This is second answer. First we said, without Bhagya Prapancha, there cannot be Manasa Prapancha. There cannot be Vritti. Without Vastu, Bhagya Vastu, there cannot be Vritti. That is one reason given in the previous shloka. Now here, again, let the Bhagya Prapancha be useless. But यद्यपि भाग्य प्रपंचः व्यर्थः तथापि तस्य वारयितुं न ईष्महे. We cannot negate it. वारयितुं to negate. ईष्महे न समर्थाः भवामः वयम्. ईष्महे. ईश धातु आत्मनेपदी. ईशते ईशेते ईशन्ते. मानानि प्रयोजनं न अपेक्षन्ते. We give a reason. भाग्य प्रपंचः अस्ति अस्ति. How do we know? Because we have pramana. It is प्रत्यक्षादि प्रमाण सिद्धम भाग्य जगत. यद्यपि प्रयोजन अभावे भाग्य विषयस्य सत्ता भवति एव. We use pramana, प्रत्यक्षादि pramana. We see, we open our eyes, we see the jagat. How can we dismiss that what we see? So therefore, pramana, when pramana is operated, bhagya, the existence of bhagya prapancha, we acknowledge. We come to know, we acknowledge. Whether bhagya prapancha useful or not, that doesn't matter. But that pramanam has got no role in deciding the usefulness of the prameya. But pramana reveals prameya. Manani, that is pramanani, prayojanam na apekshante. Pramanani prayojanam na apekshante. The means of knowledge do not depend on whether the object of knowledge is useful or useless. A flower is there, we open our eyes and we see a rose flower, whether it is useful or useless, doesn't matter. But eyes objectify the flower. So what is established by the means of knowledge, that cannot be negated. चक्षुरादि प्रमाणे की यत् वस्तु भाग्य वस्तु निरूप्यते तस्य निषेधः कथं कर्तुं शक्यते. तस्य निषेधं कर्तुं न शक्यते. निषेधः तस्य निषेधं वारयितुं निषेधं कर्तुं वारयितुं न ईष्महे. Cannot be negated. External world is useful or not, that whatever it may be, but astitvam of the jagat katham nivarayitum shakyate ishmate. Therefore, astitvam cannot be negated. Yadyapi प्रयोजनस्य अभावे अपि विषयस्य सत्तां निराकर्तुं न शक्नुमः. विषयस्य सत्ता प्रयोजन Dina na bhavati. The existence of a thing doesn't depend on its utility. We are all utilitarian, therefore, we always look for what is, if it is useful. Usefulness doesn't determine the existence of a thing. It is existent, whether useful or not. So, Vyartaha. Vyartaha, when do we say? Only when it is existent. When something is existent, then only we say Vyartaha. That person is useless, we say. When do we say? We don't talk about a non-existent person. We talk about the person who is existent and he is Vyartaha, he is useless because doesn't do anything. So, Vigataha Artaha Prayojanam Yasmat. Saha Vyartaha. But the person must be there, person or vastu must be there. Prayojanam not there. It must be there. Vyartasya abhavaha payartya. So therefore, Bhagya Prapancha, that Jagat which is external to mind, Bhagya Prapancha, Varagitam na Ishmahe. Ish, in the sense of capable, that is Samarthaha. Ish Dhatu. Second conjugation, it is. Ish, not Ishat, Ishte, Ishate, formally is like that. Vivaragitum, Vru Dhatu, 10th conjugation, Varagitum. So therefore, the object has to be there to be negated. And also, object has to be there to be negated. If object is not there, negated for its usefulness. If the object is not there, then how can be negated for its uselessness or usefulness? Accepted for usefulness, negated for uselessness. Not possible. It has to be there. But the pramanam is anadhigata, abhadita, arthavata, jnana, janakatvam pramanam. So it is Bhagya Jagat Pramana Siddha. It is we operate our Pramana and we know it is there. By definition of very Pramana, Anadhigata, Bharita, Arthavata, Jnana Janakatvam. Jnana Janakatvam, it is a producer of the knowledge of a Vastu. If the Vastu has to be existent, it cannot produce the knowledge of something which is non existent. And that which is established by a Pramana is not subject to negation by other Pramana. Then only it is a Pramana. So that which gives a knowledge of the object, and that cannot be known by any other means of knowledge. That is not subject to negation, we say. So therefore, what is known to the eyes is not negatable for the ears. Therefore, it is there. Therefore, it is there. Therefore, Madani Prayojanam na apekshante. The means of knowledge doesn't have any expectancy, doesn't depend on Prayojanatvam of the Vastu. Therefore, भाग्य विषयस्य अस्तित्वं प्रमाणेन एव सिद्ध्यति अतः प्रयोजन अभावे अपि तस्य अस्तित्वं न निराकर्तुं शक्यते प्रत्यक्षादिभिः प्रमाणैः सिद्धस्य भाग्यविषयस्य अभावः अतः न स्वीकर्तुं शक्नुमः भाग्यविषयस्य अभावः न प्रसज्यते भाग्यविषयः नास्ति इति वक्तुं न शक्यते impossible, not possible. Or the tika. Nanu na hridi hridhyakara samarpanaya bhagyartha apekshaniyaha apekshaniyaha to be apekshaniyaha apeksha, not apeksha expected for Hridi akara samarpanaya. Hridaya. That is manas. Hridi akara manasa prapancha. Akara, the form of a thing which is in the hridi, in the mind. Samarpanaya. For samarpanaya, samarpanaya. For the sake of the manasam jagat. तदि आकार समर्पणाय भाग्यपदार्थः अपेक्षणीयः. For manasam jagat, manomaya prapancha, for manomaya prapancha, there is apeksha of bhagya padartha. Bhagya padartha. Na is there, so na should be connected with na apekshaniyaha. Na apekshaniyaha. That is what Purva Pakshi says. Nanu, that is Purva Pakshi. Bhagya padartha na apekshaniyaha. For that is manomaya prapancha doesn't depend on Bhagya prapancha. This is statement of Purva Pakshi, not ours. Nanu is there. Therefore, पूर्व मानस प्रपंच संस्कारस्य एव उत्तरोत्तर मानस प्रपंच हेतुत्व आपत्तेः इति आशंक्य प्रौढवादेन तद अंगीकरोति. आशंकां करोति पूर्व पक्षी. What does it do? Manasa prapancha doesn't have dependency on bhagya padartha. Why he says पूर्व मानस प्रपंच संस्कारस्य. पूर्व मानस samskara, the samskara, manasa samskara, which is purva sampadita. It is acquired from before, previous manasa prapancha, previously it is. That becomes the cause for uttarottara manasa prapancha hetutva apattehe. So now I have manasa prapancha, my mental creation, that depends on what I had gathered before. So therefore, पूर्व मानस प्रपंच संस्कारस्य हेतुत्वं भवति. उत्तरोत्तर मानस प्रपंचस्य हेतुत्वं पूर्व मानस प्रपंचः. If you say, therefore, iti ashankya. Suppose if we say so, then we need not accept bhagya prapancha. The samskara, what has been gained before, becomes the cause for the manasa prapancha, which is what we have now, which is formed now. If we say so, iti ashankya, if we doubt, then praudavadena acharya kim karoti, tad angi karoti. Praudavada just for the sake of discussion. Abhipakamavada, praudavada. Just for the sake of discussion, not really accepting. So it is praudavada. Here the author accept angi karoti, just for the sake of arriving at the truth, going by the thinking of the Purva Pakshi. Angi karoti acharyaha. Vaiyartyam iti. Targi vijnanavadaatmakaha vedaha iti aha. For the sake of argument, we don't accept the existence of external creation. Then what will be the difference between Vedanta and Vijnanavadi Buddhist? Targi vijnanavadaatmakaha vedaha iti aha. Vijnanavadaatmakaha vedaha iti. Vijnanavadat kaha vedaha. Sorry, it's not Vijnanavadatmakaha. Vijnanavadat kaha vedaha. What is the difference between Vijnanavadi and Siddhanta? That he says, Bhagyamiti. Vijnanavadinaha bhagyartham eva apalampati ayam na tatha iti ayam eva vedaha ityartaha. The difference between Vijnanavadi and us is we don't dismiss Bhagya Prapancha as the Vijnanavadis do. Tata na tata iti. Vijnanavadinaha apalambati. Vijnanavadinaha, they dismiss. But we don't do like that. Therefore, Prayojana Shunyatvat, Jnanavadi completely dismisses the existence of Bhagya Prapancha. But we know, Vayam Tata Na. Therefore, iti evam vedaha asti eva, that is the difference. Prayojana Shunya, Shunyatvat, Abhyupagamaha api Yuktaha eva iti ashankya aha. Even there is no usefulness, Prayojana, Shunya, Prayojana Abhava, no usefulness. Therefore, accepting Prayojana Shunyatvat, Abhyupagamaha, accepting, api Yuktaha eva, accepting their philosophy, their Siddhanta is proper only if you say the Ashankaya aha. That also we say that is fallacy, Prayojanamiti. Manadina Vastu Siddhi. The statement, Manadina Vastu Siddhi. Vastu Siddhi depends on what? Pramana. Pramana establishes the existence of a Vastu. Third Pramana, how do you know? The object is dependent. The existence of object is known only through Pramana. The object is Vastu Siddhi, Vastuna Siddhi, existence of a Vastu, establishing a Vastu, that is possible only when Pramana is there. When Pramana is there, how can we say Vastu is existence? In fact, existence of a Vastu is established by Pramana. Manadina Vastu Siddhi, na Prayojana Dina. That is not the scope of Pramana. Prayojana Dina, na Manadina. Kevalam Vastu Siddhi eva Manadina. The existence of an object is established through the pramana, not the prayojanam, not the usefulness of the vastu. Therefore, manasiddhasya prayojana shunyatva matrena asattvasya laukikaihi vadivihi va anabhyupagamat iti bhavaha. Therefore, manasiddhasya prayojana shunyatva matrena. Manasiddhasya, that vastu which is established through a pramana. Prayojana shunyatva matra, because it is not useful. Prayojana shunyatva matrena, because it is not useful. Asatvasya, it doesn't exist. Asatvasya abhyupagamaha na proper, na yuktaha. You cannot say it doesn't exist. Even by laukikaihi vadivihi, even by the people, Lokika people. Lokikas are those who do not have knowledge of the Shastra, Lokikaihi, common people, common man. Lokikaihi vadibihi va anabhipagamat. Even they don't accept, even Lokikaihi vadibihi. Even common people will not accept this. If that is so, it means what? We don't accept. Therefore, manadina vastu siddhihi na prayojanadina. यद्यपि प्रयोजन अभावात् मानसिद्धस्य वस्तुनः अस्तित्वम् अङ्गीकरणीयं वयम् अङ्गीकुर्मः कथम् असत् इति वक्तुं शक्यते न अनभ्युपगमात् लौकिकैः वादिभिः अपि अनभ्युपगमात् इति भावः. Even they don't accept so. Even people who do not have Shraddha in Shastra, who don't study Shastra, even they don't accept. Iti bhavaha. Therefore, Bhagya Prapanchaha asti. Then the difference, then the another Purvapakshi, that Purvapakshi we dealt with, who Vijnanavad. Therefore, it is Jivasishta Dvaitam is Samsaka, and it is Manasam. If that is so, you deal with the mind. You deal with the mind, then that will remove samsara. It is simple. The Manasam Jagata Samsara Karanam. Manasa Prapanchaha Bandha Hetu. When you deal with the Manasa Prapancha, you deal with the mind. Suppress, stop all the thoughts, negate all the thoughts, then there is no samsara. It's simple. Then why do you talk about Vedanta and all? Not required. Stop all the thoughts. Then no samsara. Who says? Another Purupakshi. Another Purupakshi suggests. We don't require all the darshana. We don't require Vedanta darshana. Not all the darshana. You don't require Vedanta darshana. One darshana is enough. What is that? Yoga. Yoga is sufficient. Yoga. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Patanjali yoga. Yoga darshanam. That is enough. That the very first sutra of Patanjali Yoga Sutra is Yoga. The Yoganashasam Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta vritti nirodha. Regulation of the thought, or the common translation, what we say. Stop all the thoughts. Mano nashaha. It is simple. Mano nashaha. Therefore, we have to be the followers of Yoga Darshana, and we want to be free from samsara. Iti, another Purupakshi gives, he argues. He gives suggestion and argues. Let us read. Bandhaschen manasadvaitam tannirodhena shamyati.
Bandschet
Manasam
manasabdvaitam
Idam
tannirodhena shamyati.
Shamyati.
Abhyasedyogame bhato brahmajnanena kim vada.
Abhyase yogame vato
Brahmajnanena kim vada.
Manasam dvaitam bandha. Simple shloka, easily you can understand. Bandha manasa dvaitam. Manomaya prapanchaha. Bandha bandhakaranam bandhahetuhu samsara hetuhu. Chet. If that is so. Manasam dvaitam bandha. Chet. Bandha chain. Chet. Tad tannirodena shamyati. Kam nirodena manaha. Manasaha nigrahena nirodena chittavritti nirodha. Manasaha nirodena manaha shantaha shamyati shantam bhavati. Therefore, abhyaset. Therefore, may all take it to practice of suppressing stopping the mind. Switch off the mind. Abhyaset. Abhyasam kurya. Ataha abhyaset. What? Yogam eva. Take to yoga only. Abhyaset. What is the use of Brahmagyan? Brahmagyanena kim vada? Kim prayojanam vada? So, therefore, अस्मिन् श्लोके शंका क्रियते का शंका यदि मनोमय प्रपंचः बन्धहेतुः इति सिद्धं not यदि मनोमय प्रपंचः बन्धहेतुः यदि मनोमय प्रपंचः बन्धहेतुः एवं सति मनः so therefore मनः if mind is there, therefore only bandhahet. If mind is not there, or you make the mind not entertain any thoughts, यदि मनोमयः यदि मनः किमपि कार्यं न करोति तर्हि मनोमय विषयः न भवति. Only when the mind functions, there are manomaya vishayah. Yadi manaha karyam na karoti. You cannot destroy the mind because it is given agya, it is antarindriya. How do you destroy? Is it available for you to destroy? It is not physical. So therefore, but you can, according to Patanjali, cannot stop it from working also. In fact, that is translation we don't accept also. That is the first sutra of the Patanjali Yoga Darshana. That is Chittavritti Nirodha. Nirodha is stop. It is not stopping really. The translation you will see. Stopping the mind. That it is, we say it is regulation. We also take some of the things from Yoga Darshana. It is useful for us. So it is regulation of the thoughts. It's not passing the mind, stopping the mind. It is not mano nashaha. No nasha is not possible. Mano nashaha is that astitvam what we attribute to the mithya jagat is that is destroyed. That is this mano nashaha is the thoughts are mithya. That is manamaya nasha. Therefore, thoughts will not create any dent on you. It is mithya. Understanding that is manomaya nasha. Mano nashaha, in fact. You cannot destroy the mind, only destroy. Anyway, therefore, the translation and all is not proper, not correct. Stopping the thought, destroying the mind. Suppose, as we go by that, therefore, if we stop the mind from working, यदि मनः कार्यं न करोति तर्हि विषयः न भवति मनसि. Therefore, बन्धं निवर्तयितुं शक्नुमः मनसः निग्रहं कर्तुं शक्नुमः. Therefore, since mind is the cause for maname manusyanam karanam bandhamokshayah. Therefore, you do the nigraha of the mind, then samsara will not be there. Therefore, what you do? You practice samadhi, you go to samadhi. So for yoga, Patanjali Yoga Shastrena, Uttaritya, Samadhi Abhyasaha Karaniyaha. Yadi Samadhi Sampadyate tada Manasaha Nigrahaha Bhavati. Therefore, all the time you be in Samadhi. But all the time you cannot be in Samadhi. If you are in Samadhi, you have to come out from Samadhi. When you come out from Samadhi, again samsara will catch. So therefore, we suggest. But anyway, that we say, next shloka we say, that as the Samadhi, etc. Therefore, manasam dvaitam bandha chet. If mind is the cause of bondage, then nirodhena shamyati. Yoga meva abhyaset. Brahma jnana kim bada. So what is the use of Brahma jnana? So Purvapakshi says, Ishvara Sashta Dvaitam is accepted. Okay, Bhagya Prapancha, let it be there. But what is the problem? Manomaya Prapancha, Jiva Sashta Dvaitam is the cause of samsara. Manasam Dvaitam Bandha. The mind is the cause of samsara. The mind is the cause of samsara, where the focus should be. The focus should be on the mind. Thoughts are the problem. Thoughts are the enemies. Therefore, we should do sadhana to remove all the thoughts. Therefore, yoga abhyasam, Guru, yoga abhyaset, Guru Bhakti suggests, let us practice yoga. Let Brahma be the cause for Jagat. So what? Jagat Karnam Brahma Shastram says, you say, it's okay. So what? We have the problem of samsara, and samsara is caused by Antara Prapancha, Antara Janita Samsarasya Nivaranam Katam Bhavati. Katam Bhavati Yogena. Therefore, Yogam Abhyaset. Therefore, stop the mind. Then what is the use of Brahma Jnana? Let Brahma be the Jagat Karnam doesn't matter. Kim Prayojanam. Anasam Yoga Meva Abhyaset. Take resort to only to yoga. By that, you will be able to achieve samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, thoughtless state, yogam abhyase. Iti Purvapakshi argues, give suggestions. Give a suggestion. Manasa dvaitasya eva bandhahetutve sati saptami. Tasya mano mana nirodhatmaka yogena eva. Tasya mano nirodhatmaka yogena eva nivritti sambhavat. Manasa dvaitasya bandhahetutve sati. Bandhahetut, not sati saptami. Bandhahetutvam asti, bandhahetutve. Sati you can say, why not? Yeah. Manasa dvaitasya bandhahetutve sati. Tasya mano tasya nivritti katam bhavati. Mano nirodhatmaka yogena eva. By mano nirodha is chittaviti nirodha, that is by yoga. Therefore, brahmajnanasya bandha nivartakatva abhipagamaha viruddhyeti iti shankate. Therefore, brahmajnanasya Brahmajnana is the bandha nivartakatvam, you say. That is opposite. That is not required. It is viruddhyate. So manasa prapancha is the problem. Then Brahmajnana say the knowledge of the Atma, which is bandha nivartakatva abhyupagamaha, accepting that to be the cause for the removal of bondage. It is viruddhyata, it is contradictory, it is useless. Iti Purva Pakshi says, therefore, you pursue yoga. Iti. So Acharya now dismisses yoga darshanam also. Yoga darshana, by yoga darshana, you have mastery over the mind. So what? Moksha is only by jnanam. Brahma jnanena eva moksha atma jnanena jiva brahma aikya jnanena eva moksha. Tadeva moksha. Not by mastering the or mastery over the mind. Mastery over the mind is required as a sadhanam for knowing Jiva Brahma Aikya. But mastery of the mind itself is not the release from samsara. Karma is that all those things point you will Acharya will argue. The karma which is accumulated is that is the cause for samsara, that is the seed. How will you destroy the seed, the bija? The karma is the sanchita karma is right, is there. Prarabdha is it is arabdha, it will be over. This janma and sanchita karma, huge chunk of sanchita karma is there. That is seed for the next janma. Therefore, samsara will continue. How are you going to come out of the samsara? By yoga. That saying that we will dismiss it. That is going to come. We will see in next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಜಿ.